Hello and good evening and welcome to PRTvSpurs Paxton Road TV for the reaction show Tottenham Hotspur 3, AFC Bournemouth 1 on New Year's Eve yesterday, 2 p.m. kickoff. And joining me to do the reaction show is Sam, Spurs for Life, and Mr. Darius 3K. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we? Happy New Year. And I'm assuming it was a great New Year's Eve.
I spent it working and sleeping, so fireworks kept me up. Sounded like I was in Chicago for a little bit, but apart from that, it was pretty good. It was a very simple New Year's for me, and Tottenham, unlike other clubs, didn't ruin it either. So I was happy. I slept like a baby. It was great.
Good. And yourself, Sam?
Yeah, I was just for New Year's, just a quiet one, really. Enjoyed the game, so it was like nice to just chill out. But yeah, all good, man, all good. Here to decide whether we're in the title race.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he already on that again?
This is it. You're right. So before we go forward, if you're joining us in 2024 and you didn't subscribe in 2023, please make sure you subscribe to PRTvSpurs and Paxton Road TV. Smash that like button, guys, ladies, children, whoever's watching, wherever you're watching, because 2024 just gonna get better and better, and we'll be live to bring it all to you. So, in case nobody remembered, Tottenham played Bournemouth at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. And although everybody was probably predicting a win for Spurs, I think it was a lot harder than what we expected. Sam, I'm assuming you watched the game. Darius, I believe you watched some of the games. But
I watched about the first half or so.
Yeah, so first, before going into the game, how confident were you? And then as the game went on, we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But briefly, before the game feelings to during the game feelings, how was it, Sam?
So for me, what I said was obviously playing Bournemouth. They were on a brilliant run, but for them to go and win 5 Premier League games in a row, they've never done that in their history. Top flight football is hardly ever gets done in the Premier League. I know that there's teams that have done that, but the likes of Bournemouth haven't. So I always thought it's going to be a hard stretch. In the same way that when we was playing our games, it's always going to come to an end. We were at home. I did think it was going to be a tough game. I know we didn't do a preview show, but I think I was seeing a 2-1 in that for Spurs. Definitely a Spurs win. But yeah, when we come to the stats, you'll see it was a closer game than probably anticipated. Bournemouth, you can see again why they are where they are, and the manager's definitely done something well. But a win, 3 points, 1 point off Arsenal, 3 points off the top.
Darius?
Yeah, to be fair with you, I'll be honest. I actually predicted another loss solely because of the form of Solanke, the form of Bournemouth. I think it was kind of crazy. I don't know. It's not great to go against the club. I thought, all those things of them being informed, Solanke scoring bags of goals, the height of our defensive line, in coupled with the style of Bournemouth and the height of their forward players, I thought it was all a recipe for disaster. However, the players, from what it seemed like in the first half, played really well. I know they had a little bit more pressure in the second half, but again, seemed to handle it like a team that, is in full strength and has their best squad out, maybe would handle a little bit of a tougher game. So to say that we did that with a third, almost 4th string squad and even more injuries on top of that now, I can't be nothing but happy with the result. And again, from the first half, the performance for me was really good as well. So yeah, I guess we can get into the second half and stuff. But for me, I was all happy. I was very happy with the result.
So everybody in the comment section, and Sam, Darius, we was all optimistic. We all expected Tottenham to win at home, obviously. But who, like me, at 1 o'clock, when you saw the team sheet and you saw a certain player's name pop up on that team sheet, was running around, jumping up and down, like, what the F is going on here? How is this man back? And let me tell you something. His missus was the first one to put the news, apparently. She put it on her Insta or whatever it was to say he's fit and he's in the team. My God, that just my mood. Seeing that guy.
Sam didn't believe me. When I told him, he didn't believe me.
Yeah, I mean.
I said to him, I was like, yeah, Bentancur's starting. He said, no, he's not. Stop lying. And I said, I'm being serious. He's actually starting.
That was just, I think everybody in the stadium. I mean, I don't know if you saw it when they were reading the team news out. I put it on my TikTok channel as well. When Bentancur's name came out, oh my God, that if that stadium had a roof, it would have come off, because the roar for his name was madness. And that for me, I don't know about you two and everyone in the comment section, as soon as I saw that name on that team sheet, I thought, you know what, there's no way we're losing this game now.
No.
Sam?
Yeah, let me backtrack a little bit from what I said about us definitely winning the game. I thought it was going to be a tight game. Yeah. Obviously, when I got the news of Bentancur, when I was like questioned, I was like, you're talking mess. Come on, stop messing about. I was like, come on. And like I said, because I didn't look at the thing, I didn't look at our WhatsApp page or nothing. So I was just assuming that was a joke. When I saw that, it made me think all kinds of different things. But seeing him in the lineup, obviously, is a massive, massive bonus to us. And you can see he's just such a difference maker. He was cool in that number 6 position, picking the ball up. So I can imagine what it'd been like for you lot in the stadium watching him, because obviously in the stadium, when you're watching a player, it's different than watching him on TV because you can get to see. So I guess I'm asking you, after when Darius tells his bit about how he felt, what you're saying, Sid, because I'd like to know what he looked like playing, because he looked like a Rolls Royce again. He only lasted 60 minutes, but we know that we need him. We know we're going to need him.
Darius?
Yeah, he was amazing. He was so, you know what it is? I think he just brings like an air of calm around the team. There's nothing rash. And I'm not trying to get onto Bissouma in order to praise Bentancur, but as good as Bissouma is and as good as the qualities he has, 2 red cards this season, he is rash and he does go into challenges and maybe does things a little bit rash. So when you have that calm character and that demeanor around your team, it almost creates that calm around the team, and everybody doesn't rush, doesn't make brash decisions. And if things do go a little bit hairy like they do in the second half, people are able to work their way through it with a bit of confidence. So I think he's just an incredible player. Him and Kulusevski again will be one of the best signings we've made in a long time. But it just shows you how much it's actually kind of crazy, sort of how popular he is amongst the fan base and the players, and just how much confidence he gave us when we saw his name in the team sheet. Because it did almost sort of 360 or 180, should I say, my thoughts on the game, because it was like, oh, well, now Bentancur's in the team, and it's like, oh, Bentancur saw Kulusevski, or sorry, Bentancur saw Lo Celso. That's almost like, that's a pretty decent midfield. So yeah, no, I've got to give him all the praise in the world. He's one of my favorite, if not my favorite midfielder. And I was saying a lot of different players earlier on this season. So yeah, fantastic.
Before I just give you my little bit on him, our very own Sean couldn't make it tonight. He did come to the game yesterday and he was buzzing. He's at London Bridge sipping, having a beer, but you can't hear us. But Happy New Year to everyone, including ourselves. Sean, enjoy your stint in London, because I'm sure you'll be proper celebrating, and get home safe tomorrow or whenever you're going back. Right. So got to the stadium. Obviously the buzz. And then when the teams came out, then they showed the players, as they do on the screen, Sam, as you would know, the team comes out and they show it on the stadium. Bentancur's name, I think there was already a buzz about him. I think people were buzzing that he's playing. But when his name came up, I've never seen a roar for such a player come that loud. Even on the way home, when I was listening to Talk Sport and all that, they were talking about it, and they said that they've never heard a player's name being said in the team lineup and the stadium going absolutely mental. It was, for me, it was a bit like, watching one of the TV channels, watching 60-Minute Makeover, and you get Bentancur to come on to do a 60-minute makeover, and then you take him off. That's it. 1 hour's up, time for adverts, and he goes off. Because when he plays, it's just like, Sam, you'll notice, the Cadbury's caramel advert. He just takes it, sits back and takes it easy with a Cadbury's caramel. Because, yes, he came back straight away. He slotted it. I was quite surprised, actually, and so was my brother, my son. He took the number 6 role. We thought he'd be further forward, but they dropped him. Yeah.
Go on.
Now, I was going to say, we thought he'd be a little bit more further forward, but then looking at what we had, it made sense for him to start at the number 6. He was a little bit rusty at times, but what do you expect from someone who's been out for that long? You know, but he did everything he had to do. He broke up play. It was like a Rolls Royce. Some of the things that he was doing with the ball when he got it. And I don't know about you guys, but I know for me and a lot of my sons and a lot of people in the stadium, just seeing him on the pitch makes a massive, massive difference and gives the team such a massive lift. And boy,
It does.
For 60 minutes, I don't care because now we know he's back. And I think the whole plan was just to play him for 60 minutes, maybe, just to get him back to fitness, ready for the next game. So massive, massive lift. And you know what? That set it all up, to be fair. That was it. And we will discuss it further, but you've got to give his missus dues because she broke the news and well done.
You know what? With Bentancur, he's becoming, obviously, as a crowd favourite. He's become very much a crowd favourite. He reminds me similar to what Lamela was to Spurs, but in a greater sense because of the way he played the back end of last season and since he's been here, to be honest. And you know what? I think there was some sort of mind games going on because when I had nothing in the press conference that he was fit. I heard he was training. But then somebody said, oh, that's still because he's due to come back in February. And I anticipated he'd probably be back end of January. So to come back now, there must have been something, you know what I mean? Some games being... And this is what I'm saying about Postecoglou. Just moving on to that. Did you see the little BBC interview that he's giving when he was asked? Oh, fam, come on. This is what's making me kind of... Anyway.
Leave that to the end. Because I want to talk about that.
You have to explain me that. You have to explain that.
I want to leave that to the very end.
Or should I put my AirPod in and listen to it, or are you going to explain it?
No, we'll explain it at the end because I want to talk about Postecoglou because there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the incident.
There was, I saw a few things happen.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah. We'll get into it later.
Absolutely. Right. So we'll talk. We'll read the comments through in a minute as well. Let me just. What's going on here? I don't know where. Oh, here we go. Right. So, where are we? Here we are. Right. So, 3-1 to Spurs. Right. So, in terms of possession, 51% possession to 49% possession. Right. Listen, we'll talk about it if you want or not. I was in the stadium with my sons. And we was watching this and we was looking at the stats at halftime and then at the final whistle. And we was like, how the hell is it that close? Because at one point, we was like, it should be like 60, 70% possession to Bournemouth compared to ours. Yeah,
when I was watching it, Bournemouth seems to have more of the ball. You're right.
Yeah.
It felt like they had more of the ball.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I think they played in a very similar way to us. So they gave the ball away a few times. We caught possession of it. We gave the ball away a few times. So on balance of it, I think it probably was a 50-50 game, but it went in spells. They had some real periods of the game where I was thinking, damn, they're gonna if they score here and it was a timing of some of the goals. We got to halftime winning the game, and that for me was the biggest thing. If you can get to halftime 1-0 up. If they had scored in that first half, I think it would have been a completely different game in that second half.
Yeah, because that first 20, 25 minutes, it was good. And then for some reason, it just sort of, somebody must have flicked the switch and we just turned off. And the atmosphere was like, oh, what's going on here? And to be fair, there was a lot of people thinking, if they get one here now, they're going to get another one. And it was sort of doing, it was sort of going around the stadium. Fans were like, oh, what's going on here? We need to get that second quick because Bournemouth kept attacking. And it was like, if they get one, who knows? 12 shots to their 24. I think first time this season I've seen a team come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and come almost double the shots that we had. Although we had 50% of ours on target, 6. They only had 4 on target. And that speaks a lot of volume about our midfield and our defenders, which we'll talk about later as well, because I've got a little bit on our defence.
A good way to see out 2023.
Touches in opposite.
All right, you're in the title race.
Gary, we can hear you.
Well, not according to everybody. but we are only 3 points off the top, so we're going okay.
Who's got that
The
on?
point of the top.
Oh, sorry, that was me. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I thought I was on mute. I apologize.
That's all right.
I was just trying to cue it up, but it's gonna
Copyright strike, Sam.
I know, so I forgot we can't
Copyright.
even do that, can we? I was
No.
gonna do that. Sorry. I was
That's
queuing
right.
it up, but I didn't know it was in the background.
Yeah, touches in opposite box. 36 to Tottenham. They had 41 touches in our box. Big chances 3 to Bournemouth's 1. Big chances missed. We missed 2. They missed 1. Accurate passes 355, 81%. They had 344, 85%. And keeper saves 3 and 3 each. Sam, Darius, we discussed this. I know you only watched the first half, Darius, but obviously possessions, the shots, I was quite surprised at, but on target, not that much. Talk to me about this then. What anything stand out to you guys?
Oof, I mean, it shows that, you know, when you look at the passing and the shots, looks like Bournemouth use the ball a lot more efficiently in terms of creating chances. But then again, you look at the quality of shots, and it might not be that high because I believe the XG is not as high as us as well. So I believe we generated more XG than them with half the shots. So if I look, I think it was 2.15 to 1.58. So yeah, if you look at those stats, it shows that despite them, you know, using the ball more efficiently to get chances and create chances, the shots weren't very good, and our ones were, and we actually took our chances well. And obviously, I don't know if to say, you know, maybe the Son goal, we got a bit fortunate, but in the end, that pass from Lo Celso was a brilliant pass, and his finish was a fantastic finish. So, you know, the goals we deserved. I think Bournemouth, you could say we're a bit unlucky again. Solanke had a couple chances. I know he had a header that he could have potentially scored, but yeah, from those stats, when you show me them, again, look at the big chances. 1 big chance created.
Yeah.
But they had 24 shots.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're taking pot shots. It seems like they're not very efficient. So, and I'd love to know the goalkeeper stats as well, how many saves Vicario made. That would be very interesting. So
3.
He made 3 saves. So then, yeah, again, look at the chances he made. The chances they made aren't that efficient. So, yeah, I think that's positive. Some people may seem a bit annoyed at, you know, the closeness of the possession, the lack of shots. But to me, home or away, you get the job done. You win 2-1 against a team that's in form. 4 wins in a row. Let's not forget this, like Sam said. 4 wins in a row. Yeah. Best team in the league based on form. I think, you know, we've got barely anybody fit to come and take 3 points from Bournemouth. I'm pretty happy with that. Even if it's to our standards, and I'm not saying it's a smash and grab by any means necessary, because it's not. But to our standards, it seems a little bit like a smash and grab based on those stats there.
Yeah, Sam?
Yeah, obviously the shots that, 24, you usually find, as a lot of teams have shots against us, but it is what Darius said, the quality of those shots. They weren't that quality because the XG shows that. I think we got to be a little bit more praise for Spurs, even though the number of shots that we had is down. The accuracy, it's basically 50%. You know, 6 shots on target, you score 3 goals. Yeah, 50%. You don't get really, unless you get 100%. But that's very good in comparison to what we were getting. Because remember, we were saying, we're getting these chances, we're getting into the areas, and we're not taking shots. And we have like 20 odd shots, and we might get 2 ones, whatever. So I'm happy to see that. But what I will add to it is Bournemouth. I think if people or other managers start watching that game, if you're a possession-based team, not a team that has a low block, but a possession-based team, that's how you can play against Spurs. I know we didn't have all our quality, but if you watch how they pressed, it's like they were us. We were playing a version of us. It was really, a little bit concerning based on the fact that we've got players going to the AFCON and Asian Cup now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree. I mean, David Clark is saying here, right? Where's he gone? 24 shots of nothing. Tell me what Vicario had to do in 103 minutes. 1 parried shot and a punch. Big deal. Do you know what? I agree, right? Now, we've been like West Ham. I'll give you an example, right? They came to us. They had 3 shots. We had almost whatever possession. They had 3 shots, scored 2, won the game. They went to Arsenal. Arsenal done the same, battered them, had about 457,000 shots. They won 2-0, West Ham. So sometimes it doesn't matter what possession you have. It's what you do with that. It's what you do with your shots and shots on target. You can only have 2 shots on target and win the game, like West Ham have done. A lot of other teams are doing. So, yes, I was expecting us to have a lot more possession at home. But on the flip side, with the amount of injuries we've got, with the players missing we've got, I think we've done a tremendous job.
So I'll tell you the reason why our possession's down. A lot of that possession, if you think of it, is the centre backs playing from centre back to centre back, back to keeper, back to centre back, because they're comfortable on the ball. Royal's not comfortable on the ball. So when he gets it, he's got to pass it as soon as he can, almost to the point where he doesn't want to receive it. So we're not playing those balls in and around our centre backs comfortably, because we've all seen it can lead to mistakes. So not that they're not playing out from the back, but they're not playing out from the back, what I would say, in a comfortable, controlled manner. It is more like we'll play it out from the back because that's what we're coached to do, but I'm not sure if I can do this. And that's what it seems like that's what Raw's like. He's playing, oh my God, somebody can miss me, I've got, and that's why I'm not comfortable. That's why I'm not comfortable. Yeah.
Do you know what? I agree. And watching it yesterday as well, there was a lot of time the ball went back to the keeper. And then, like you said, Sam, they were giving it wide, then they're coming it back. Because when you haven't got Romero, when you haven't got Van der Ven, when you haven't got Bissouma, when you haven't got people like that, and it's different because
add Bissouma to that in terms of ball possession and ball retention. You're right, Sid. That's why the possession is down. So we're going to have to take them factors into consideration as well.
Exactly, because you think about it, Sam, Darius, when Vicario's got the ball, majority of the time, yes, you've got Van der Ven and Romero outside of him, and then the 2 fullbacks pushing in the middle. Who's always available to get that ball? Bissouma. And then he gets it, pings it left, pings it right, or whatever. That outlet wasn't there. So with Emerson Royal and Davies staying in the middle, it was sort of, okay, the middleman in the middle that normally takes the ball is not there. So what do we do? And they tried to pass it out, but it worked. It didn't work. But you know what? With what we've got, I think we're doing really well. I think we've done well, you know? So let's have a look. So as we were saying, in terms of the team, we went with, which was a surprise, but not a surprise really. It was what it was, wasn't it? Pedro Porro.
You know what? It's not a surprise, and it is a surprise. What it does tell us about Royal is he's definitely ahead of Dyer, and he must be ahead of Phillips and Dorrington.
You know how much of a mockery that must feel.
And that's what I was going to say. So that's what I'm trying to scratch my head thinking. If a right back who's not the best right back in the world,
not even the best
playing at centre back, who's not very good at centre back, is still ahead of Dyer, which I can understand the Dyer situation, but I'm still struggling with Dorrington and Phillips. Even though I know people are going to say, well, you can't start him, he's young, he hasn't played, blah, blah, blah. When are we going to find out? Because if Royal gets injured, what are we going to do then? If Ben Davies, who's been brilliant, by the way, you know, I see him, remember who went down? I think it was Ben Davies. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, Ben Davies, I'm concerned about him. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm concerned now if Ben Davies gets injured. That should tell you everything what we're struggling with. So January 1st, we need that defender in, fam.
I think, you know what it is with them, right? With Phillips, Dyer obviously is the last resort now. Dorrington, again, they're both youngsters. I think Emerson Royal, yesterday, I saw a different side to Emerson Royal. Yeah. And I know everyone's going to say, well, blah, blah. No, when you actually see him from the stadium, what he was doing off the ball, because obviously the camera is always panning whenever. If you see what he was doing at the back, he was 100% every tackle. When he was winning the tackles, he was fisting it. He was proper on it. Yeah. He was like that guy, you know, like the guy that we keep saying we need someone with big balls to keep that defense together, shout at him, stuff like that. He was that man. Now, Phillips, Dorrington, I can't see them coming in to do that kind of stuff. Whereas, yes, we've all slagged off Emerson Royal. We say he can't do this, he can't do that. Last couple of games, all right, I think he's done all right. And we'll talk about that as well. But obviously Lo Celso came in, played. I thought he played really, really well up until that injury, and I think Dino Dinosaur was asking about an update. As far as I'm aware, he posted on social media yesterday that things are always worse than what people say. So, or something along the line. So I think he's fine. I think he's fine, and he'll be going to the AFCON. I don't think he's going to miss out. I think it's going to be the one that's worrying me is Valise.
He was shook though.
He was shook. Yeah,
he
thought
shook.
it was worse, and that was it. I think he said when you think something's worse than what it actually is. So he's as far as
I
I'm
probably
aware,
told him a week, and he was like, "Yes, yes,
probably, you know,
get me on that plane."
Yeah, you know, but yeah, I thought Lo Celso had a good game. I think Sarr done well. Johnson went missing now and then, but Sam
Johnson's frustrating. Sorry, I was going to just take on from your point there. Johnson's frustrating,
Yeah.
But again, you got an assist.
Another one.
exactly. And I was going to say
You know
this
what I
is what we discussed the other day. Do you remember?
And
People were
this
tagging
is the
off Johnson.
frustrating thing about him because I think he can do more.
Yeah.
But I put back to back what he's actually had an assist today or yesterday when it was. He had 2 assists in the game before, and I think probably one probably before that or something along those lines. But we wanted more from him, and I think the reason we're wanting more is because we know that if he doesn't play well or perform well, there ain't much behind him at this moment in time. What did you lot think of? What was I going to say? Not Sarr, Son, because I was saying to Darius that, you know what I mean, he's going to the Asian Cup. I don't think he's going to put it in. Not to say he's not going to put it in, but he wants to avoid injury because he's the king of Asia. So he has to go. And even if he broke both his legs, I think they'd plaster him up and they'd still try to play him for a career because that's how important he is. But do you guys think he put in a captain's performance yesterday? Because I did. I thought he did well. I thought he did well considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I think he was. I mean, Sid, I'll be really quick because I think you'll have a much better answer than I will. So I just think, like Sam said, Son, and I can't be mad at him, just looked like he didn't want to get too stuck in. You know, I think he saw Sarr. I think he saw Sarr and he thought, you know what?
I'm not having that.
Nah, man. I want to go. So he just and you know what, Son? That guy's got a whole damn nation on his back now.
Yeah.
He's going to feel more pressure this next month than I think he ever will have felt at Tottenham since he's been there.
God,
so I think, to be honest with you, Son, go on, man. I hope he wins it, and I also hope they lose as quickly as possible.
Drew's not saying, Son was missing for most of the game. He got a goal. Come on.
Chose to be.
You know what I mean? He got a goal for us, and he was involved. He was doing his pressing. He made a few mistakes, but you're right. He weren't going in for no challenges. Like I was not. No. And I saw a couple times when I think he got caught and was fouled by a few players. I'm thinking to myself, he's going to get vexed here because he don't want to get nowhere near an injury. Nothing like, because obviously Sarr, that's another story.
Different story. Good afternoon or good evening. We've got Ian from Australia. Good day, mate. Good day, mate. We've got to say, mate. Right. My thing on Son, right? I thought he had a quiet game. Now, whether what you guys have said and what you said, Darius, whether because it was his final game and then he's gone today to link up with his squad, was that on his mind? I think 100%. 100%. Like you said, Darius, he's got the whole nation on his shoulders for that, and they're counting on him. As friends said, you can count on me no matter what we do. But I think he went missing quite a lot in the games. There was a couple of times when he got the ball and he was running at their defense, and then it was a bit like catch the pigeon. When he saw a couple of Bournemouth players coming to him, he just went, break.
I saw that as well.
Let me go backwards. Let me go backwards and get rid of the ball.
No way he's going in for that.
There was one where I think he was actually ahead of the player, and I think he was going further ahead.
Yes.
And I think there was one guy that was really quick yesterday from Bournemouth, but I can't remember his name. But he started to then catch him up. But whereas Son would have come inside, you could probably get fouled then. It looked like he just went, as you said, and turned back and passed it back.
Yeah.
Funny, man.
Yeah.
Can't
But I
blame
tell
him.
you what, though.
Can't blame him, but it's
No.
what it is, isn't it?
No, but you know what? He's saying is, do you see the video of Son being a true captain, telling individuals what's required during the game and release and that when they were leaving the pitch, didn't play great, but captain. Do you know
That's
what?
I'm saying.
That I mean, yes, he went missing, right, David? But when it matters, when you need him, he's there. And I tell you what, the Valise one, the Saw one, anytime one of our players went down, Son, you could see. Even when he had that chance in the first 2 minutes when he missed it, yeah, you could see the frustration on his face because on a normal day, Son buries that, yeah, but he didn't, and you can see the frustration, and that's what I love about him as captain. He leads from the top. He leads. He sets the example, yeah, and he gets on with it. Okay, I've missed that, but I'll come back, and he got his goal. I don't blame him at all, yeah, for going missing some parts of the game because.
Nope.
He wants to go on whatever, but he didn't neglect the whole team. He didn't say, I'm going away, so sod you lot. I'm looking after myself. No.
That's just his character, though, isn't it? Like,
Exactly.
Son is a very honourable, very, very honourable person. And I don't think Sonny will ever, not play for whatever badge or whatever team he's playing for. So,
100%.
a muted Son will still probably put in, like he did on the yesterday, a 7 out of 10 performance. So
100%.
we should be just glad to have him, 12 goals, like they said, 12 goals, 5 assists.
Ronnie, we're not
12
hating on
goals.
him.
We're not hating him.
I can't hate on him.
We're not
He's our
hating him.
top goal scorer.
Yeah,
We're going to miss him, man.
He's been a
100%.
brilliant captain in all the circumstances that we've had of Harry Kane leaving. I know he's not even been mentioned. That's how much we've done this season. We're not even really mentioning Harry Kane as
Kane is having one of his best ever seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody, bar nobody, was saying that's what was going to be the thing for us. Paul Merson, all them pundits were all saying, you can't take out a 30, 35 goal a season man and do anything.
Exactly.
That's it, you got F. And look what's happened, because you know why? People have stepped up, but we've also got a captain who would have done this. He's done what he was going to do when Kane was going to go City. He stepped up into that position and taken it on because he knows he's the man.
And the other thing as well, like you said, Sam, we're not hating. He's our captain, man. No matter what, he's Tottenham through and through. It's everybody else that were hating on him. They hate him because he's playing for Spurs and he's doing bits, regardless if he's not in form. Like you said, Sam, they all said Kane's gone. Watch Son dip. 12 goals and 5 assists already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And he's been shifted out from the left to the central area. He's still got goals from that left-hand side. So that just shows you that he is world-class. Anybody that doubts that Son is world-class and says to me that Saka is better than Son or Saka's they're not on the same level. They're not. They're not. In my opinion.
What? Let's make a quick prediction. I want to hear what you two think about this. What do you think Son finishes on? Bearing in mind he's away for Asian Cup, so what is he missing? 3 games, 4 games?
Well, he misses.
Or what's the max?
We've only got one game, Prem game. Well, we've got 2 games in January. We've got Man United and then Brentford, and then we got early Feb. We go back to Everton, so potentially 3.
Let's say 3. Let's say 3 Prem games. So 3 games. What do you think Son finishes on? Goals and assists, Premier League only.
Go on, Sam. I'll let you
12
go.
goals, 5 assists in the Prem,
so
right?
he's got what? He's got 17.
He's got 12 goals and 5 assists so far.
He's got 17 goal involvements. I'm gonna say that he goes away, comes back, just in the Prem. So if this is just in the Prem, I'm thinking
Prem only. Prem only.
I think he'll get to 20 goals and he might get to 10 assists. So I'm thinking 30 goal assists.
It's a bloody
30
good
goal
season.
contributions.
I agree, Sam. I was going to say exactly the same. At least 20 goals and at least 10 assists.
You have to think.
Yeah,
you have to think when the other players come back in terms of
Exactly.
the creators for the team. You like, and it's going to be so exciting for particularly Postecoglou. He's going to have the choice when we get there: Bentancur, Maddison, Basuma, Sarr, and then you can say about Skip and Højbjerg whether they're going to be still there. I don't know, but bringing anybody else, and there's still this talk about Conor Gallagher. But what I'm saying is that midfield is going to be so creative and be able to do different things, and someone's going to profit from that. The other person that I think is going to really profit from that is Richarlison.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. What do you think, Darius? You asked a question. What do you think?
I was only going to say I think his goals not going to necessarily dry up, but I'm very reluctant to say he might hit 20. If he will, I won't be surprised. But I think he's going to get his assists up more because I think he's going to come back from the Asia Cup and carry on playing left wing. Only because who else is playing left wing really? Yeah. So I think the goals are going to dry up slightly. I think obviously you said 20. I'm going to say 18 goals, so not that much. But I think he's going to get about 12, 13, 14 assists. I think he might. If he can get 15 assists, I think that's an incredible season. I think he's going to get about 12.
If he's
12,
got
13.
30 plus goal involvements for the season, that's bloody great. However you break it down, whether that's 15 and 15,
30 goal involvements. You're right. Yeah,
30
exactly.
goal involvements is bloody great.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? The only reason I say that is because Maddison will come back, and I don't even think he's going to gobble up too many assists. I think Maddison he's like the pre-assist person, you know. He's the pass before the assist person. I think Son is going to make those runs from left into the middle. Maddison will see it, and Richarlison will have an easy tap in as Son puts it across the box. I think we're going to see so many goals like that when those three are really all firing. So, yeah, no, I really think his creativity is very, very underrated because he still scores a lot of goals, but he really is important. I'm very worried for the next three Premier League games.
I'm not.
There's one big glaring elephant in the room question that I want to ask. Is for me, it's a good positive to have, but it's still a bit of an elephant in the room. When we have got all these players fit, and we've seen Kulusevski has been brilliant in the number 10/8 position, but he plays out on the right.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen when the midfield is stacked with the players that we know can play in that midfield? Johnson, we all know, can play better on the right than he plays on the left. Is it just a case of rotating? Does Kulusevski get us the nod ahead of Johnson? Do they battle for that place? Is Son just the only player that's going to play on the left because Kulusevski could play on? It's good problems to have, but as a starting player, I'd want to be in that team now in the post-February bit.
Kulu solidified his place in the starting lineup. Whether people like that or not, I'm talking about from an Ange Postecoglou perspective. I think if you look at what Kulu does for the team, he runs yards, he's creative, he's all. I had my doubts about Kulusevski. I think he wasn't great. I think just because, and everybody who said that he was playing well at the start of the season was only really using the. He's run the most kilometers in the Premier League. That's all I heard was he ran the most kilometers. He wasn't actually playing great, but now he's actually playing well. And you back that up with the amount of legs he puts on the pitch. I think it's like Saar. If we took him out of the team, I think we won today. That's great. But if you take Kulu out of the team, I think you might see a drop off, and you're wondering why. And then when he comes back in, you're like, oh, he is maybe more important than we think.
The reason I was asking Sid, and I appreciate that, Darius, but you ain't been and watched them play this season. Yeah. Sid knows, and I know, on that right-hand side, as good as Kulusevski has been, he don't beat too many players with pace. He beats them through trickery, and as what's happening with Saka this season, double up on him. You start doubling on Kulusevski, you're going to have to start doing amazing things. You need to be able to get the ball over the top so he can go or do the thing. And Johnson gives you that. That's why he's got his goal involvements at this moment in time. Kulusevski being in that middle bit has got the ability to jink one way or the other and doesn't have to beat too many men with pace, because you can beat one man and just play a passing. Maddison's going to be playing that role. We have to have, in my opinion, there's a load of conundrums here.
It's great.
But what do you think?
The Kulusevski one, I think, is the biggest one for me.
Right. I think, right, and I agree with what Juicy's saying. Johnson and Richarlison seem to be having this understanding, right? If you look at Johnson's social media account yesterday, I don't know if you guys have seen it, he's posted a picture of when he kicked lumps out of Richarlison when he was doing them keepy-uppies. Remember, at the City Ground last season?
Oh, yeah, that was funny, that was.
Yeah, and then he's posted a picture right next to it with both of them celebrating the goal yesterday, and he said, how time flies. 1 minute I'm taking the shit out of him, and now we're doing this to each other.
Well.
Yeah. So I agree with Juice. The understanding between Johnson and Richarlison is phenomenal. You look at that goal yesterday, Johnson, when he gets the ball, he's not even looked in the penalty box. He's turned, twisted, gone. Yeah, he's not even looked at that. He's looked at the ball. He's not even looked in the box, and he knew who was going to be there.
And this is what I'm saying. Richarlison will benefit more
Yeah.
from that type of play than he
Exactly.
would do from somebody who jinks in and comes inside. Because
Yeah.
when you make that run, you've got to make the run across, and then someone's got to slip that ball. More often than not, you're going kind of away from the goal, and the ball's kind of going away from the goal. When it's
Yeah.
coming from the wide area, it's coming across. And what he did yesterday is prime number 9 striking. You know, get ahead of your defender, get a touch on it. It's a goal.
Yeah.
Kulishevsky offers a different thing because they more cut back on the byline sort of thing, or he comes inside and tries to take that curling shot.
Yeah.
If we want to get the best out of Richarlison as a number 9, we've got to have wide players that go wide sometimes and get crosses in, or play it over into the space for him, like what we've seen yesterday.
So it's like
So,
Gamecock and saying here, rotate Kulu and Maddison, Johnson on the right, new player on the left. Facts.
That's going to be difficult conversations. If we sign Conor Gallagher, it's going to be, I'm going to have to change my tone. And I'm saying if because it's a big if. But if we sign Conor Gallagher, he replaces Kulu in terms of that engine on the pitch and engine around the midfield, because he runs just as many yards as Kulu. And that makes me then think, because Maddison has, you know, got the history of injuries, let's not, you know, beat around the bush. Incredible player. Absolutely love him. But, you know, his time at Leicester and now, despite, you know, he couldn't really help the ankle injury, so I'm not going to get onto him for that, but he has got a history of injuries. So for me, it's going to be between Kulu and Maddison, so you can rotate the minutes.
Yeah.
I
want Gallagher. I really think Postecoglou will fall in love with him. And
Gallagher
then
feels a lot of profiles. He feels a lot of profiles. Because
I'm telling you now, Gallagher's one of those players. Postecoglou would fall in love with him. He's first in like pretty much every metric for Chelsea. He's goes under the radar because he's not flash. But you know what? We've got enough flash players, and I'm pretty sure we'll get some more players like that in the future. So you need those engines.
What we're gonna have to do, guys, is this midfield conundrum. We're gonna have to do a show on talking points on that, Sam, because we're doing a reaction now and we're talking about that kind of stuff. No, we want to do that on a proper talking point, because that is going to be a serious talking point. David Clark is saying here, and Maddison is the starter, and it's between Kulu and Johnson on the right, and it's that simple. For me, if that's the case,
right, though, he's just not effective. He's not as effective on the right.
It's not as simple as that, David. I disagree, because I personally think Kulishevsky, the way I saw him play, was the closest thing, and I know it's a bit of an exaggeration because he's one of the best, but it's the closest thing I'd seen to what we could consider a Kevin De Bruyne for us, because he's got an engine. Kevin De Bruyne has got that. He's got the ability to jink and create and shoot from outside the box. He's got all that, and he proved that he can go box to box, and that's why I think for me, you know, that might be his position in that kind of 8/10. He's not going to beat too many men and go past them on the outside. That's what I'm saying.
So, question for you, and I just want a quick, brief answer, right? That Johnson run, for Richarlison's goal. If that was Kulu in that position, was that a goal or not? I know what I'm going to say, but I want your opinion on that. And a quick, brief one. If that was Kulu in that position where Johnson was, what would have been the outcome?
Very quickly, it would have just been, it may have been a goal, but it wouldn't have been like that. That's all I'll say to that.
Okay. So if you watch the goal, they were high up. They were high. It was a high line that Bournemouth played. Johnson done the double run. He ran back slightly and then made the run forward. The ball was played over, and then he went. And as soon as that ball was played, Richarlison knew he was going to be there first. You know that. As a forward, that's why Richarlison was ahead of his player. All I'm saying with that, Kulishevsky, even if he'd have made that jinked run, I don't think he gets away from his player too much. And then he gets there, and then it's a 1v1 against his defender, as opposed to I can get the ball crossed in quickly. So I don't think we scored that goal. I think we may have got another type of goal, but I don't think we would have scored that type of goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly my point.
Are we going to talk about then Sarr's goal quickly? We'll talk about all three goals. I mean, first goal, obviously, talk about Sarr's goal. What did you think of that? I think it was a great finish. I was crying for people to have a shot from outside the box. What a finish. And he was having a top game as well, up until the injury.
I mean, Sarr, when he was at Metz, I think he scored quite a few goals like that. And I remember seeing him score quite a few goals like that. He's a good striker of the ball. We've seen him strike the ball quite well, but, you know, it's not necessarily gone on target or it's just gone wide. So it's nice to see, you know, initially Bentancur winning the ball back from the bad pass from Neto, and Lo Celso grafting hard to win that ball with the 50-50. Every aspect of that goal was a good goal for me. And when you see Sarr bury it like that, I think personally Sarr can increase the amount of, you know, goals he scores, because he's a very good striker of the ball. But no, it was a good goal from all aspects of it. From Bentancur winning it to the finish. The finish was a very, very good finish.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, it's quite simply, the goal came from pressure, but the actual finish came from a shot from in and around the outside of the box, which we've got to do more of. And Darius made the point. I saw a load of goals that Sarr did that when he played for Metz. So unfortunately, we might not see him for a little bit, but that's what he needs to do a bit more of for us.
100%. Obviously, we talked about Richarlison goal, and then Son's finish for the third goal. What a finish. And interesting thing, there was a lot of stuff about it yesterday as well, and I think on MOTD as well, they were talking about it. They were waxing lyrical about how every time Son shots at goal for a goal, he lifts the ball and it goes down. They said they don't understand how this guy does it, but he always seems to lift the ball midair and then for it to come back down to score. And they were literally going, wow, this guy is just madness. I mean, what a finish it was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's Son.
Yeah, go on.
I was just say that for me, that's Son. I expect him in that position on that left or right foot, but obviously on the left foot, that he's gonna make that strike. There was one which he didn't, which I think even the commentators were surprised that he kind of snatched that in that game.
The first one in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was it. That was the one. Yeah, and I was like, that's not like Son. But again, that all kept going through me. Is his mind 100% on this game? Is he now thinking about other stuff? So for me, that's what I said about the captain's performance. He got his goal. He's added to his tally of 12 goals and 5 assists. And he's injury-free. And he's now able to go after the Asian. Thank you, Son.
This is it. Right. So we've talked about that. Today, I want to talk about something different, guys. So I want to talk about, and we'll talk about it, how long you want to talk about, but we've got to talk about these, right? We've got to talk about the back five, right? Tackles won, 11, 43%. Interceptions, 7. Blocks, 11. Clearances, 23. Duels won, 58. Ground duels, 49, 58%. Aerial duels won, 9, 30%. And keeper saves, 3. We don't talk about, we always want to slag off the back four. Obviously, apart from Destiny and Poro, Davis has been really good this last couple of games since we've had Romero gone off as well. Emerson Rose come in and fitted in. And like we said at the beginning, we'll talk about these. You know what? You've got to give these guys credit at the back. I mean, we've not conceded a goal from a corner yet, man. They had about 500 corners and they didn't look like at any point they were going to score from a corner. So we've got to give plaudits to our defensive coaching, and we've got to talk to, obviously, Ange for believing. Going back to what we're talking about, Sam, Phillips, Dorrington, why we're not playing them? Because he sees these guys, he trusts these guys, and it's paying dividends. So talk to me about the back five, guys. Come on.
I'll be quick on this. That's fine. And I like all this. The 4 players that are outstanding at the moment for us. Definitely Vicario, top keeper, quality keeper. Udoji, you can see why we need him in that team. And for me, Poro, as well as being superb attacking wise, he's done some great things on the ball, even his touches and getting past men, jinking past men. As I said, one of our most creative players. His defensive side of things is getting better. Ben Davis is playing at a level which, as I said, I compare him to a Mini Cooper doing 100 miles an hour. But he's doing right. What I'm saying is, with Bro, he's doing as much as he can do. But how long does it last?
Yeah.
The reason I say that is, you can look at somebody in a comparison to Saliba and Gabriel at Arsenal. Brilliant. Everybody keeps saying they're the best defense this year, but their stats are not great. But as well as that, you couple that with the fact that Arsenal don't score enough because they don't take all their chances, it puts pressure on the defence. If these two continue in this position, we are going to get games like that. I know we're getting players back sooner rather than later, but I was just concerned that at some point a team like Brighton did put us to the sword. They really did. Sliced us up, pulled us out of position. Raw was so messed up because he couldn't. And I know he played well yesterday, but that can happen again. What happened at Brighton, and that's what I'm scared of.
Oh no, I 100% agree with you, but it is what it is. We've got to deal with what we've got, and I think what we've played, what we've got. I mean, Davis.
Can I play another? This is my last dilemma. I'm just getting them as they come through my head because they are brilliant. Van de Ven, Romero, not quite ready yet. Sorry, Van de Ven is going to be ready soon.
Yeah.
Left-sided player. Royal and Davis. Davis, left-sided player. Do you play Davis on the left-hand side? Do you play Van de Ven on the left-hand side? Do you play Van de Ven and Royal, or do you play Van de Ven and Davis? Or do you play Royal and Davis and not play Van de Ven? That was a joke. But there's a little bit of a dilemma there from a perspective of that left-hand side. Because I don't know if Van de Ven can play on the right-hand side. Can Ben Davis play effectively on the right-hand side? Is it matter? Does it matter? Is it something we just have to play your best two defenders? That's my dilemma for you guys.
Darius, do you wanna have a shot at it?
Davis, Van de Ven, I would play Davis on the right.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm thinking in myself.
Only because I don't want to see Emerson Royal on the pitch. I don't care if he had a good game. He's done this before where he has one good game. And then he'll do something crazy the next game, and we'll be like,
I'm scared. I was scared yesterday because I know it's like, the ball's coming.
I've X'd off those options. For me, I do agree with playing your best centre backs in our case, but I do think because we're such a possession heavy team, it is important that the feet of our players do correspond to where they play, because you need to make passing as simple as possible when you play the way we play, especially the way we play, because I've seen us do some crazy stuff. So it would be very tough for Davis, I think, to play in that position offensively in terms of making passes. Defensively, I think it wouldn't really make a difference for him necessarily. But yeah, it would be hard. It wouldn't be so simple to just say, yeah, play them anywhere. But I would have to go with Davis on the right and my best centre back in his best position.
Fair place. I'm just going to answer this one. Tommy G, it's a couple of seasons old. I think it's about 3 seasons old, my top that I'm wearing. It's not this season's range. Right, so my answer to your question is I'm not worried. Romero and Van de Ven are going to come back together. They're both coming back at the same time. So I'm not worried.
Romero's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Well, that could be 4 to 5 days if we know Ange. So
Exactly.
Sid, the reason I say that, because remember the episode. I remember it as clear as day. I think me and you were talking, and I said to you, "Do you know that we're only a stone's throw away from having 100%. Ben Davis and Dyer at the back?" And your words were to me, "Well, I don't think Van de Ven and Romero are going to get injured." And I think after that, we had the Chelsea scenario. And
it was your fault, Sid.
It wasn't my fault.
So it was you. You put the curse on us.
I didn't tell Romero to get sent off, though, did I? And it's only because he got sent off, Van de Ven got injured. Had he not got sent off, then nothing else would have happened.
It was the preview show before. It was either the preview show
I know it was.
Or a reaction show. We did. And when I said that, I looked at him like that. I was like, oh my God. See, how can you say that?
I know.
And you didn't touch wood, did you, Sid?
In all honesty, I believe Van de Ven's, they reckon he's going to be ready for Man United. I personally would just wait extra 2 weeks, because after Man United, we've got a 2-week break. So I'd rather leave him for the Man United game and we bring him in for Brentford. And I think by that time, Romero's going to be back as well, or a new centre back. So I am not worried. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't
And
take it.
Ben Davies needs a rest because that man is
Yeah.
running through walls and bricks for Tottenham at the moment. And at some
He'll
point,
get
man,
injured soon. Don't worry.
you know what I mean? He's like the running man. He's like the running man. That guy, you know what? Everybody,
Fair
a
play
lot
to
of people, including myself, maybe you, Sam, maybe Darius, we slagged him off. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
been phenomenal this season.
Because he's a professional, and I think
Exactly.
Efan Okoku said on the commentary that I was watching yesterday as well, that he thinks Ben Davies over the last 5 years is one of the best, most improved players. But
Sam, I don't know if you can see what David said, but I'd love to know what David's. I'd love to know what David's alternative would be. I'd love to know.
David's
what
always killing us on this thing, man. David, you know what we're saying. You know what we're saying. I've already described what I think Ben Davies is.
Davies doesn't know what you're
Definitely.
saying. That's why he's questioning you.
Oh, David's on the right.
Are you mad? That's what he's
What's
saying.
the alternative?
David.
We stay with Royal.
I would want Phillips or Dorrington, but that's not going to happen. So, like, I'm trying to be realistic with my answer.
Okay, David, Van der Ven and Emerson Royal. As much as Emerson Royal's got a right foot, and I know he's Brazilian, but I just don't trust him receiving the ball all the time. Sometimes I do, but not all the time. And he'd have to do that in our situation. I think Ben Davies receives the ball better, and even though it's going to be on his left side, we've seen that happen before. Teams do that. It's not like it's great if you can get the balance, but if you can't, get your best defenders on there. They'll work it out.
Do you know what?
As Darius said, get your best defender in his best position, and your next best defender has to be playing alongside him. Luckily for us, we've got Romero and a balance with Van der Ven.
We're not compensating for the worst defender. That's what I'm saying.
No, but what's his name? The guy that Dragon Town, whatever his name is, the one that's supposed to be coming. Fight. If he comes,
fight.
Sorry, that's just me. I've been doing that all weekend. Sorry. What was I going to say now? If he comes in, again, if he's right-sided, he might have to play on the left side. We just got to play these players and hope.
The thing is, Sam, problem is, if we get this Dragusin and they say fight, we're going to have a problem because Romero's going to stop fighting as well, isn't he? So we're going to have two of them fighting. Anyway, listen, as Ian says here, Ange has never believed in right or left or right throughout his career. He will play who he thinks are the best two.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
It'll be, Ange will just say, I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you do, as long as you play where I want you to play. And that's what's going to happen. Trusting our manager. Quickly.
Yeah, because the game's on soon.
The substitutes. Quickly on the substitutes. Okay. I personally think they were a bit bizarre. Some of the substitutions he made yesterday at the time.
I'm going to look now.
Yeah, I thought they were absolutely bizarre. Gil came on.
We had Safa Skip 31, Bentancur for Højbjerg 67. And then we had Richarlison Valise 91, Brennan Johnson for Gil 91,
strange one.
Lo Celso for Dyer 91.
Very strange.
Sis not having it. Right, let me just quickly go through them then. The Skip one was obvious with the Sarr incident. Yes. Bentancur could only play 60 minutes, so that's why he came off at 58. He looked like he could play more, but you can't take a risk with him.
Yeah.
Lo Celso for Dyer, I have no clue.
I'll tell you why. On that one, Sam, right? We were doing so well, and then he comes on, we go to back five, and we concede. How can we not concede with 4 and concede with 5?
I saw the goal as well. Again, I'm not going to blame it on Dyer, but it was on his side. And
it was, and I don't know about you guys, but in the stadium, when we went to 5 at the back, we fucking went absolutely, haven't got a clue. They did not have a clue what they were doing when they went to a back 5, which I couldn't understand. Why has he changed that to a back 5? Absolutely bizarre. And for me, I'm sorry, but Gil needs to go in January. I'm saying it. I'm sorry. He's got to go. I'm telling you. That's my opinion. Juice Nuts is Gil had a good cameo. He has a football brain. Shame he has no physique.
Under 14s playing men's football. Unfortunately, that's him.
That's it.
That's it. He's a brilliant under 14 player, but he's in men's football. You could be the best under 14 player in the world. you ain't gonna make it in men's football, and unfortunately, that's him. That's him.
100%. Right, I know you guys want to go. So, quickly, briefly, sum up the game, and then sum up.
We've got Burnley Friday. Is it Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, and we talk about the cup. That's the cup game. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I
No,
mean,
we don't
Willis
have
is
to. We can
injury.
wait.
Obviously, he left on crutches and in a brace, so we don't know any more than that. And if our medical team get to him, he's out for 5 years. So just don't let him anywhere near our medical team. So we was optimistic of winning the game. It was a tense game. Eventually, in the end, we won it quite convincingly, I think, 3-1. Although, if you're looking at possession, then it was a closer game. I'm happy, and we move on. Darius, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think it was from what I saw, I was impressed. But then obviously the second half, maybe we could have been a bit more improved in that sense. But again, when you do show the table, I'm pretty sure the position that we're in right now, given the month prior to this month we had, I would say is pretty good. And Richarlison 5 goals this month, Son 4 goals this month. Can't be mad, can we? So yeah, I mean, the cup game, I really want us to take seriously. I think we all know what happened last time with Fulham. Don't think we want a repeat of that. And I don't think Ange Postecoglou will allow a repeat of that, given the fact that if he can actually put on a bit of a run for this trophy, I'm telling you now, by the time our players get fit, the hunger in those players who have been out for ages, it may just push us to do something very special. So not talking too much, but everything is... it seems crazy, it seems mad, but, Brennan Johnson has more goal involvements than Martinelli and Jesus. So,
yeah.
Good days, man. Good days.
Happy days, good days. Sam?
Yeah, I'm happy because we got the 3 points. We ground out. It was almost a grinding out of a result, if you're honest with ourselves, because of the way that the game kind of panned out. But it was because of the fact that, Bournemouth were on such a streak as well. So good to get the result. Darius mentioned about Richarlison, agree 5 goals. What's happening down the road there? Jesus getting replaced by Nketiah to start. Nketiah is now starting for Jesus because Jesus can't score goals. That's like saying, I'm going to swap Rashford for Martial. It's not happening. Don't matter what you do, they're not scoring in that position. So change it, Arsenal. And we're 1 point behind you, bastards.
We'll talk about, Darius, going back to what we were saying at the beginning about Postecoglou interview. So the first question he was asked was, so now after this win, you've moved into the top 4. How are you feeling? And he went, well, if I'm not correct, if you look at the table, we're 3 points off the leaders.
Yeah, and then he said, go on, so I'll let you finish it.
No, go, carry on.
No, and then he said, and then the guy said to him, you do the next part. The guy said to him, you all right, you're doing all right. And he goes, yeah, we're doing all right, mate. And he goes, you're doing more than all right. You're in a title race. And let Sid finish the rest of it.
Yeah. What was that? What did he say after that? We're in the title race. And then that was it. That's all he said, didn't he, after that? The title
No,
race.
but then he said, when the guy said that, you're in a title race, aren't you? And he goes, well, people don't think we are, but we're 1 point behind Arsenal and 3 points off Liverpool. So we must be in a title race. He didn't say that, but he just kind of smiled.
Yeah.
He just had a little smile on his face.
That's it. And then
that is my manager.
That's my manager.
And you know why he's saying that? You know what? I'm not going to be as confident as he is. But you know why he's saying that? Because he knows his boys are coming back soon.
He knows. That's what I'm saying. The Benton curve.
His real shooters, his real hitters are coming back soon.
Benton curve was coming back. So that means, I think,
you might be able to shave a week or 2 off a couple of these schedules.
I'm telling you.
I think Romero may come back a week ahead of schedule, which might be end of January.
Mark this date, Man United. I think we see Van der Ven start.
I think we might even see Maddison.
And I think we might see a Maddison bench.
Yeah. And then they said there was a scuffle as well when Lo Celso went off. It kicked off on the sidelines. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, was that because Veliz got injured and they didn't?
Because Veliz got injured, Bentancur and Thingy was shouting at Postecoglou was shouting at Veliz to go down and stay down, right? Because I want to quickly bring this up. There was one part of that game when we counter-broke him completely. Højbjerg got the ball. He had Son on the left and hobbling Veliz on the right.
He played it.
And he
fucking
don't tell me he
passed the
played it
ball
to him.
Valise.
Played it to oh my god, that was that.
What are you doing? And that
I thought he
Valise.
was done it on
Yeah,
purpose.
the guy, he's playing against us, guys. He's playing
I
against
swear
us.
he did it on purpose, Sid.
Yeah.
It looked
He's
like he
playing
did it on
against us.
purpose because he was facing
Shout out
both
to
the
Sean.
players. And I swear to you, I said, if he plays this ball to Valise,
I know.
you saw him.
I know.
Oh, and he did.
And
Shout out to Sean, because
So
Sean said
Bentancur
he.
and Postecoglou were going apeshit at him because they wanted him to go down. So the Bournemouth bench didn't like it, so it all kicked off. So in the end, they asked Postecoglou, said, "Oh, what happened at that kickoff and all that when you lot were having a fight in the dugout and all that?" He went, "Yeah, it was all fine. We was wishing each other a happy New Year."
He's funny.
He's
So
brilliant.
wait, we did the double on Bournemouth this season then.
Yeah,
I'm keeping track of this because I think it's very good to look at the progress of when we play when we play a team twice to see, you know, if they've worked us out, how the games go. Because if I remember not, the last Bournemouth game went a little bit better, but we still struggled slightly in that game. We were a little bit fortunate in the end with our goals. So it's good to now, obviously with his first year in charge, playing all these teams for the first time, I'm looking at how teams react to us and how we react to teams. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see the second time round. I think it's always more interesting the second games of the season.
yeah.
You also have to take into account the transfer window's open now, so that's going to make
Exactly.
a difference.
Yeah.
And it seems, you know, big quotation marks, it seems like we're moving like a proper club. It seems. Whether that follows through,
I'll
you
wait
know,
to see.
till we hold the shirt,
I'll
whatever
wait
you
to
want to
see that
say.
one.
Exactly.
I'm
We'll
still
see.
going to put laughing emojis in the group every time people put up, "Oh, it's almost there." Yeah,
You know what I mean? Nah.
I'm not bothered.
Nah.
We'll
Right.
see.
So, guys, Kane went. They're going to finish bottom of the season. They're going to finish bottom of the table, as that idiot Merson said. There's no way. Kane's gone. He's got this one. He's many that many goals. Spurs are going to be bottom of the table. Then we've had injuries. Then we've had suspensions. They've had August. They've had their December, October. They've had their September at the top. It'll be Spursy again. It'll be business as usual. The Arsenal haven't got any injuries. We're going to go from winning the we're going to come runners up last season. Now we're going to rock. We're going to roll the Premier League. Guess what? End of the season, 31st of December. We're now in 1st of January. Look at that table. Just look at that table.
That is
we are
nuts.
1 point behind Arsenal on 39 points. 3 points behind the leaders. Who
That is
on
nuts.
earth would have said that? And I'll tell you one thing, guys. When Van der Ven, Romero, Maddison, everyone
Keep going.
comes back, you know what we're going to do? We're going to shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Because there's going to be a lot of twisting, a lot of shouting, and we're going to shake this title up. Because I tell you what, and I would love it.
We have the third. We've scored the third most goals in the league this season.
Yeah, but look at what we've conceded, though. That's the
I
problem.
know,
innit?
and that's what's so bugging. It's like, you know what? The Chelsea game is going to do a lot of damage to our season, but
Yeah.
if that looking at that right now it's genuinely nuts because I thought it was all over, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, you know what? Wait till we get our players back.
I'm
Let's
telling
see
you.
what happens.
Just looking at the goals against for us, I know we've got like a large number of goals, but if you think about it, they've come in bunches. We had 4 knocked in against us the other day. We had 4 knocked in against us previously
Chelsea.
as well. That was our
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Where else did we get? Was it 3 we got knocked in against? So
No.
when we lose,
City
lose kind
3-3.
of- yeah,
City
so 3-3
3-3,
now.
yeah.
So when we kind of lose, stroke draw, that I guess it's not consecutive. We're not like 2 goals every game. They're coming out of 4, couple of clean sheets. So when we get our better defenders back, that's the aim. Clean sheets. No
Yeah.
dirty sheets. As Jordan said on the Arsenal podcast, no dirty sheets at home, man. It's got to be clean sheets.
This is it. And I think Postecoglou now has to sit down with Destinies, the Romeros, even Kulusevski, in my opinion, even Basuma, and say to them now, guys, you've had your fun. You've had all your suspensions. You've had all your yellow cards. Now buckle down and fucking let's put in a shift now every week without doing stupid yellow cards and tackles and get suspensions. Because, like I said, once we're all
Yeah.
fit, I'm telling you now, there's going to be
That
clubs
clean
looking
sheet
at it.
today, that goal was unnecessary yesterday.
It wasn't necessary.
And although we went and still obviously won the game 3-1, it takes away if I was the manager, that's what I'd be bugging me. I'll say, yeah, we won the game. Well, that would be the thing, because those clean sheets, particularly at home, is what's going to set us up to be able to mount this. Because away from home, we're going to concede goals. At home, I think we're going to concede goals as well for very, very good teams. But the teams that are not so good, we should outplay them, basically beat them by half time, and then that's it. Game's done.
Yeah. And one more thing, because I know we do want to go and watch this Liverpool game. Sorry, Sid, if you can bring up, I don't know if you can bring up the table really quickly again. Every team above us is going to go deep in. I think is going to go deep in a European competition. Yes. Liverpool, Europa, Aston Villa, UECL, City and Arsenal. I both think will go deep in the Champions League. And on top of that, we'll also all four of those teams are going to want to win that competition. Yeah, so they're going to be playing full strength squads in that competition. And I think when we get our players back and we can, with additional players in January, if you can rotate minutes and really like ease players into the starting 11, knowing that you can, make substitutions and not see a drop in quality, boy, I'm telling you now, I'm not trying to say anything crazy, but the way that teams are playing, if there's a chance to get into the top 4 and even push higher than that, this is probably going to be one of the best seasons to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're in and around the same sort of number of points with 10 games to go, if we have the same sort of start and have a finish in terms of having all the players that are available and have that strong, because we looked almost, not unbeatable because we had some close games.
But we could beat every team in the league.
But we could beat everybody because, we got Maddison in there. And when we were talking, now we can start talking about, we got Bentancur, we got Basuma. We can rotate that man in there. And we've seen all these players can do it. So if you get a team that's so strong that you're fighting to get into it, that's exactly what you want in the run-up to or the run-in, because everybody wants to be part of it. So the training goes up. The players' levels go up. That's why I'm excited about it. Once them players come back from February to May, if we're close,
who knows? This is
Let's
it.
Not talk too much.
You know what? Where we are, it's fantastic. If, when, how, why, you can say what you want, players wise, but it is what it is. We've dealt with what we've got. Yeah, and like David said, April.
That April is crazy.
This is that's when it's going to be shook up, twisted, and shouting.
That April's going to be nuts. I need to try and find out what we
April games are nuts, fam.
And
as they stand, but they might get changed because of the Champions League. That's
But like you said, Darius, if that April comes and them lot are still in them cups, they're not going to want to be playing Tottenham.
Newcastle, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's who we play.
From April, we got West Ham away. Then we got Forest at home, Newcastle,
and then Newcastle,
away, City at home, Arsenal at home, then Liverpool.
That's what I mean.
And you know what it is?
That's mad.
Like you said, Sid, they're gonna have that competition, and if we can put it like this, if we have a mirror season or mirror half season that we did at the start, if we push the lead like we did and go and beat them with the players back, I think it will be a lot, there will be more to play for when you're trying to hold on to a lead. And I think the players would have a lot more incentive to defend and play like that, knowing that the run-in to the season is approaching. I think getting points on the board from now to March is going to allow us to be able to have these conversations, because I think it is still extremely premature and we don't know what's going to happen.
Of course.
But I think it's most important is to have the points on the board before April. So then at least we go into April knowing that there's a little bit of, money in the bank, as they say. So, yeah.
People weren't expecting us to be where we are with what we've had in terms of injury suspensions. And I think a lot of people, they're not going to say it, but the hardcore fans of them clubs, and I'm talking Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, because I've got a few hardcore Liverpool and Arsenal fans. They're bricking shits. Well, not bricking, but they're like, you lot are this good at the moment with what you've got out. They're like, we're worried because if you come back with every single one of your fit players and you buy in January, they reckon we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And it's so true. Only problem for me is obviously Man City, because they've got nobody going to the AFCON or Asia Cup. So
Listen,
they're
Man
going to be
City's Man
full.
City. If we are keep tabs on Man City, the closer we can keep to them, the closer we would be to be in a title race anyway. So we're in a title race as it is. Obviously, with the games that go, we could potentially be 6 points behind. I think if you can keep to that 6 point sort of gap, maybe a couple either side. I mean, 8 points is a bit much because you go later on. So 6 points, I think, is about a max. And you can get into the late Marches, as I said, because of all them fixtures that are going to come for them. I'm looking at the strength that we'd have with our stronger players who were injured in the earlier part of the season. If you just look at it from a logical point of view, they'd probably stay fitter towards the end of the part of the season. The energy levels will be better. The energy levels of the players that had to play all season are going to be dipping if they're in other trophies. That's all I'm saying.
And this, if I'm Daniel Levy now, and obviously Postecoglou's giving him a list, this is going to probably, if I'm Daniel Levy, I would want to give him the money now for this window because of where we are, what's happening under Postecoglou. He could reap the benefits big time if he delves into his pocket and gets Postecoglou what he wants. And I just hope he does that, gives him what he wants, because I haven't seen any manager at Spurs in the last how many years go to Daniel Levy in such a promising, strong position to say, look, get me these players. Look, just look. That's it. Don't even have to say anything. Just say the word, look at the table. Look at what is happening. Are you mad? That's it.
Look what I can do.
We'll see.
You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, that was the reaction. Bournemouth beaten 3-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on New Year's Eve. Spurs go 5th, 1 point behind Arsenal, Man City, and 3 behind Liverpool and Aston Villa. And we've got everything to come back. Everything. FA Cup on Friday, then a 2-week break, and we go to faltering Manchester United at Old Trafford. I'm not going to tell you what I said yesterday, but we'll do the preview nearer the time. Guys, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you to everyone in the comment section. Jews Nuts, David Clark, Ian. Where are we? Tommy G, Gamecocken. We've got obviously our Ian from Australia as well. Thank you everyone for your comments. Dinosaur, What's the Point FC. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you had a great New Year's Eve. Hope you have a great New Year's Day. Go and watch the darts. Watch the 16-year-old Madison's boy now got into the semi-finals. Have a great week. We'll be back. Maybe talking points. I don't know what Sam's got planned.
We'll do a talking points midweek. We'll try and do a bit of a mid-season, and then, like you said, talk about those points, about those defenders and starting positions, etc.
Cool. And a final comment and a final quote for Mr. Sam. I'm assuming it's aimed at you in capital letters. Trust me, Davies won't be playing right centre-back against Burnley. Right, guys. Have a great evening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. And we'll see you soon. Take care and come on, you Spurs. Not even that one. It's that one.